గుడ్ మార్నింగ్, నమస్తే, ప్రణామ్, సుభానల్లా, శుభోదయం. మూకం కరోతి తత్పద్మపాదుకాన్ విధురకాల బ్రహ్మకాల ప్రాతకాల సంధ్యాకాల అరుణకాల ఉషకాల ఉదయకాల మానసాంతర భావయే తత్ప్రణమామి. మూకం కరోతి తత్పద్మపాదుకాన్ మూకం కరోతి సాధూనాం మూకం కరోతి ఋషీణాం మూకం కరోతి మునీనాం మూకం కరోతి యోగినాం మూకం కరోతి గురూణాం మూకం కరోతి. విద్వాన్ పండితః వాచాలం గురు పద్మపాదుకాన్ విదురకాల బ్రహ్మకాల ప్రాతకాల సంధ్యాకాల అరుణకాల ఉషకాల ఉదయకాల హృదయాంతర భావయే తత్ప్రణమామి తత్ప్రణమామి. శ్రీసమంచితమవ్యయం పరమప్రకాశ గోచరం పరమప్రకాశ గోచరం భేదవర్జే తమ ప్రమేయం అనంతమధ్యమ కల్మషం నిర్మలం నిగమాంతమవ్యయం అప్రతర్క్యమబోధకం ప్రాతరేవ హి మానసాంతర భావయే గురుపాదుకాం. నాదబిందుకలాత్మకం దశనాదభేద వినోదకం మంద मन्त्रराज विराजितं निजमण्डलान्तर्भसितं पञ्चवर्णमखण्ड अद्भुतमादे कारणमच्युतम् प्रातरे वै मानसान्तरभवये गुरुपादुकां श्री समञ्चितमव्ययं परमप्रकाश गोचरं भेद वर्जित अप्रमेयम् अनंत माध्यम कल्मषं निर्मलं निगमान्तं अद्वय अप्रतर्क्यं बोधकम् प्रातरे मानसान्तर भाव गुरु नादबिंदु कलात्मकं दश नादभेद विनोदकं मन्त्रराज विराजितं निजमण्डलान्तर्भासितं पंचवर्णं अखंड अद्भुत आदि कारण अच्युतं प्रातरे मानसान्तर भावये गुरु पादुकान् हे गुरु हे गुरु the one who mind is balanced the one who achieved zero consumption, avyayam, the one who attained beyond the world duality, the one who is capable of making experience, Parama Gochara singularity, the one gone beyond caste, creed, religion, whatever the kind of specificity. Impromptu is a response of love, compassion. Every cell of his whole being, Anantamajjama kalmasham, so purity, Nirmala, so stainless, his teaching is Nigamanta Madhvaya, the word beyond duality is only what he teaches. So scientific logic apratarkyam bodhakam prat revahi. My heart fell early morning to his lotus feet for achieving that greatest feat. Nada bindu kalatmakam. O Lord, O Guru, when you teach your poetry of teaching it, balance all the neurotransmitters, Nada Bindu, your sound of silence, the entire being, Kalatmakam, connecting to Holy Spirit, connecting to Allah, is the greatest art, so pleasant the way your sound is, your voice is, Dashanadha Bhed Vinodakam. Every syllable you know how to use in 10 ways of Grama plying grama, so pleasing Vinodakam. Every time I hear you, it is so pleasing for the way it is administered. Mantra Raja Virajeta, you have purified you every syllable of Sanskrita Sanskarana. You are a king of every alphabet, using it for purification of every cell of this organism. Nisamandalanta bhasitam. For us to experience the lighter, body feels so light, mind feels so light, you make everything so light, so bright, your sound of syllable, Panchavarna Akhanda, your way of connecting, never heard a song adbhutam, amazing the way Adi Karana, you explain root cause of everything, and you take us beyond connecting to singularity. Detachment, taking us beyond a color, creed, race, religion. You are teaching it an absolute science of purifying every syllable of you is so universal, everyone can understand. My Lord, my heartfelt salutation, Pratareva, my early morning salutation, my early morning heartfelt salutation to your lotus feet for achieving that feat. Oh Guru, how incredible you are. How a small speck at your lotus feet we are. O Lord, in all humility, in gratitude, blessed we are to have your glance, to have, to hear a word from you. Have a glance of your teaching, experience how many lifetimes I have been looking for you, O Guru. Human suffering, what a lookout, what a waiting it has been. Hey Guru, take me along. Hey Lord, how rare it is, breed of those lineages and tradition you represent. We are not even a speck of a dirt eligible to touch your lotus feet. Hey, Guru, a dust sprinkled by your foot falls on my head. How many lifetimes I must have done a karma to get a speck of it sprinkle flew by your lotus soul, your lotus sandal. Early morning salutation, heartfelt salutation to not even your feet, but your sandal, Guru Padukan. Even how incredible one should be fall under your lotus, your sandal, even to be touched, even to be crushed. Hey Lord, should one be waiting, would realize how incredible Jesus is. Prophet is, Krishna is, Rama is, Buddha is, Patanjali, Shankara. Every guru, every saint every yogi dawns upon a light to dispel the clouds of dust of darkness that clouds this planet, that clouds every being. There's no day, there's no moment. In every moment, after that great Shankaracharya came in contact with his Guru and learned the technologies of Vidya, Vedanta means to end entire suffering. The path of wisdom, the path of absolute science, to dispel the darkness of ignorance called avidya, by means of, as Patanjali explains, exploring the world inside, what is hitherto considered as a pure, realizing the mess inside, cleaning it. What hitherto considered as the means of happiness as an intelligence, realizing it is a means of becoming weak and suffering. Realizing the means of finding happiness in the world of ego and achievements in the name and fame is a worshipping an ego, becoming a worst animal, a human to animal, the one who realizes. The one who realizes how impermanent is the world of any experiences in the field of entropy, and the one who sincerely makes us realize to go beyond for an eternal happiness, called Siddhanta Vicharana, the practice who gives, who has given, and Shankaracharya from that day onwards, he went to every ashram, every guru, only to learn the technologies of conditioning the mind. And one experience over the other experience. Every guru said, this is it. Every experience he got under every guru, stands out, but still it is an experience. As long as in that experience, as long as in that indulgence, like as long as you're eating an ice cream, incredible it is. But the moment it is over, next day morning when you sit in a loo, you will see how constipated you are. How every experience of the conditioning becomes a bondage. How it takes away the mind. How it makes the mind a slave of a coffee, a slave of an experience in the meditation, the spirituality. The one who pulled him out, and Shankaracharya, ever grateful for being pulled out of the world of experience of a samadhi, sabija samadhi, or savikalpa samadhi, or samprajnata samadhi. Is so many lifetimes questions, so many lifetimes search for a guru. When it comes to an end, from that day onwards, there is a disciple of the Buddha, whoever came in contact with the Buddha, a seeker, a true seeker, like a Shankaracharya, like any disciple of the Buddha. Once forget about accomplishing the mission, even when they realize they got a guru, how incredible they feel, I can't tell you. If you have a lost and a ring, gold ring, in this world somewhere where you do not know, or in a desert. After a prolonged search of entire world, entire desert, you do not even know where it is lost when it is lost. If at all, if you get your gold ring lost in the vast desert of this land, this planet, how do you feel? That's what Buddha says. A longing for a guru, looking for a guru, the one who is ready, looking for a true guru. The day when he gets, because he has gone through the entire world of experience of Iha-vairagya, Para-vairagya, the world of sense-door entertainment and the world of sense-door concentration, experiencing different levels of super-conscious states, supra-mental conscious states, and got fed up with that world, outside world, inside of the experience. And he knows the value of a guru. When he comes in contact with that guru, the feeling is, that dawns upon him is, like if this planet is a desert and you do not know where your gold ring, where your ring is lost, and when you find, what elation you find, what a feeling you generate. The same feeling Shankaracharya, every day after he met Guru, that feeling, that gratitude, the feeling, that gratitude never left him. Because you found a golden ring, at that moment there is a feeling, but sustaining that feeling forever is only a student can do, a devotee student, a student with a gratitude can do. Each one of my guru, under whom I have got crushed, grinded, sweat out my blood and sweat out. How incredible to be crushed by a guru. Never look for a crush with the guru, to be crushed by a guru. I never looked for a crush with the guru. There is no such a thing. All that one I looked for in my whole life is crushed and crushed by a guru, under a guru sandal. The life without a guru, a life without getting crushed under the lotus sandal, shoe of a guru. What the life? That's only the way, that pain only, by the guru only takes you. When you die under that crush, you end up in the singularity, because you know it is the sandal of the guru. Every temple you visit in India, if there are no sandals, there is a tower, there is a pole connecting to the singularity. And that pole base, where you go to Madurai, Meenakshi too, where you go to Badrinath or Kedarinath, you will find a pole, a yoke, a pole, a yoga. And at the base of that pole are a pillar, Ashoka the great pillar, or every pillar that stands in front of every temple in India that connects to the singularity. Have you ever seen the base? At the base, at the foundation of that pillar, you will find two sandals. And those two sandals, unless you pray, unless you touch them unless you hug them to keep them to your eyes. Your eyes are not open, you are blind. Understand? There is a tower of connecting the lotus sword, sandals. Then only you are eligible to walk into further any journey into the temple. Any journey even to make further into the sanctum, sanatorium, it is outside. Then you have to cross through the 5 layers and 5 sheets of ignorance to reach sanctum, sanatorium. Understand? The first is the surrender, first is the devotion. We are not even eligible to touch the feet, the sandal that keeps the Guru's feet. The sandal, in India, feet are not even worshipped, my dear. Sandal is worshipped. Sandal. That is the value of a Guru. By the way, do you know sandal? Why that word came? Hari Chandanancha Kalayan. The one who conquered, removed entire stink from inside. Hari Chandanancha, which dispels entire stink, called as sandalwood. India is known for what? 2 greatest sandals. Not an Australian, a cultured, agricultured sandal, my dear. It is a Indian forests where Shankaracharya chose. That forest is famous for a sandalwood, There is a 2 sandals. One is called yellow sandal, golden sandal. One is called a red sandal, Aruna. Both are the most expensive. Red sandal is more expensive even than the yellow sandal, golden sandal. Sandal not only dispels the smell over there, but you can mold into. The grain is so fine. The best of the sculpture. No wood is possible in the world with that kind of the smoothness, that kind of softness. The finest of the grooves, of the best of the sculpture you want to grow, the finest sculptor, the best sculptor, the finest of the sculptor. Like writing a program on a silicon chip could be easy. But sandal would allow you. The grain size is too smaller than a grain on a silicon chip. It's only your ability of a needle that carves anything on the sandalwood. Sandalwood allow whatever sculptor wants, the finest of the finest of the finest of the curves, the finest and finest of the grooves, the way he wants, he can only mold. Only wood that allows is called sandalwood. Anything that can be molded, shaped, that is called a sandal. Whose sandal it is? Which dispels entire stink. That sandal is called a Guru's sandal. Understand? The very name of the sandal comes from an Indian Guru's sandal that adores his feet, that acquired a qualification. That's why a sandalwood, actually a Guru's sandalwood, has become a sandal in English. But people have forgotten. Remember sandal, but they have forgotten what the sandal means. Isn't it? Forgotten. Yes, the value of the Guru is completely forgotten. How many of you know? The very expensive oil is absolute, is sandal. Absolute. 1,500 pounds is the cost of that sandal from that forest where Shankaracharya meditated, 1,500 pounds is the cost of a liter of that sandal oil. If you ask me, still it is very economic. Only government produces from that forest, from that state. Only government produces that oil. Rest any sandal oil in the world stands out much, much inferior, much, much inferior. You might get a sandal oil at 500 pounds, but nothing matches. There's 1,500 pounds sandal oil. Will you get that? You will not get that. I know the value of that forest. I know the value of the sandal of a Guru. In every ashram I went, I am at the lotus feet of the volunteers, and I always walked. When Guru is inside, when sandals are outside, his room, wherever his sandals are, I know my Guru's sandals. I always cleaned them. I always kept on my head those sandals. Any of my fellow volunteers who ever saw me, they thought I have gone mad. Why you wear a sandal essential oil? Tell me. A drop of it on your head, or anywhere on your head, just a drop of it. Minute drop of it. If you have to take a pipette, 20 drops of sandal oil will make 1 ml. Just 1 drop enough. 2, throw away your stink, Just the sandal on your head. I used to take the sandal. The more dirty it is, best it is, I'm telling you. Even the worst dirt on the sandal is still better than the stink of our mind, stink of our ego, stink of our karma. Understand? It leads to so much of purification. That's why I always kept. I never looked at. I only see the sandal, what it is. Guru sandal, all that I know. The next thing is, with so much of gratitude and respect, I take it. I keep it on my head. I clean it and keep it over there. And every time I did, tears from my eyes roll down. Where's the Iyengar sandals, where's the Krishnamacharya sandals, where's the Pattabhijaya sandals. Pattabhijaya, the Krishnamacharya, Iyengar saw that one day. He said, that day onwards, the way Iyengar spoke to me, that day onwards, one day even, it so happens every day when you do that. One day Pattabhijaya, someone told Pattabhijaya and Pattabhijaya saw it. One day Krishnamacharya saw it. That day onwards, the way my guru looked at me is different. They said, we have never seen, we know a student, but we never seen a true student who got trained in ashrams, what it is like. A seeker means what it is like. Each one of them said, it's not that I try to avoid it, but it so happens suddenly they come out. Or suddenly someone tells them they notice it. I kept those sandals close to my heart, on the top of my head. When they asked, I said, sir, how lucky I am to even keep your sandals on my head. How sacred my head has become, keeping your sandals on my head. Even to touch your sandals, how lucky I am. Understand? No one told me. After I tell, my student try to act. It has to come from your heart. This is what? The same feeling, Shankaracharya explained. Pratarevahi, my early morning. Manasantara bhavaye, my heart felt. Inner heart, manasantara, antara, from the depth of my heart. There is no depth beyond that. Manasantara bhavaye. Manasantara bhavaye. Pratarevahi, manasantara bhavaye. Pratarevahi, manasantara bhavaye. Guru Padukan. Hey Guru, I respect you. I bow down to your sandal. Shankaracharya is not praying to his Guru inside. He saw his Guru's sandal there one day. He saw a sandal over there. And all this morning I chanted. And looking at that sandal, and taking that sandal and beating on his head against his heart. It was early morning. It's early morning. In Badarika Ashrama, it's early morning. And he so happened, he saw the sandal outside the hut, cave, outside the cave of the Guru. There are 5 caves in Badrinath. So early morning. So when Guru calls every morning, Brahma Muhurta Pratarevahi, early morning, after Vidura Kala means morning 3 o'clock, between 3 to 5 o'clock, and every day from his cave, Shankaracharya goes into the cave of his Guru. And so one day, it so happened, normally, Guru always has his sandals there inside only, beside him. But that day, they are outside the cave. Shankaracharya already learnt more, like Krishnamacharya. Before even he met Rama Manohara Brahmachari, Krishnamacharya is a Sanskrit scholar. He studied not just Sanskrit, he studied all the Shad Darshanas, entire Vedanta, all the limbs of Vedanta, is the epitome of Sanskrit grammar. No one equivalent to his Panditya, his maturity in Sanskrit in 1875 to 1925. No one equivalent to Krishnamacharya. Apara Shankaracharya is considered as like another Shankaracharya by the king, for his skill, for his exposition, for his understanding of the Sanskrit grammar and administering the Sanskrit. When I look at Krishnamacharya, I remember, the life of Shankaracharya. Shankaracharya, the same. He already knew Sanskrit so well. Like Krishnamacharya Sanskrit, Shankaracharya Sanskrit from the south, it is the same. The Sanskrit of them stands out so beautiful than the Kalidasa. Kalidasa Sanskrit is a far excelling in the entire poetry of the Sanskrit. The one whose Sanskrit is the best flowing is called Kalidasa, the devotee of the Mother Kali, Parashakti. She blessed him. She blessed him with the sound of silence. Kalidasa was so desperate. He became a slave of a woman. He is a womanizer. He's a billionaire. He became womanizer. Every evening he has to spend with a new girl, not the same girl. Adores the woman body like anything. He has become a slave of his lust. The one who eats non-vegetarian every day like a king. His penis never be silent. It always stands up. Until it falls down, it will not satisfy. That's the reason why boosting the testosterone, eating the non-vegetarian is forbidden. If you eat every day non-vegetarian from your childhood onwards, only non-vegetarian you eat, like a lion or like a tiger, every day, nothing else, your penis will never be silent until the day your penis starts standing out. Once you are matured, it will never go into silence until either you masturbate or you keep into a vagina and hit it. Vagina gets tight, but not the penis. That's the reason why non-vegetarian is condemned. Understand? That's all. The life becomes only for the penis. Penis keeps them restless. Whatever he wears, it forms a whole. That powerful the penis becomes. No cloth can endure. That's why gurus are called tamers of the penis. That's when the Jain monks, the test for to be a monk or not, to be eligible to be naked, to stand in front of everyone without penis being lifted. The entire training is only for that. Even the most beautiful woman, girl stands in front of a Jain, a naked monk, even today. His penis is so long, but you will not find any movement in his penis. He is called a monk who conquered the penis. It is not that his penis is short. They choose, every Jain monk would have a penis the longest and the strong. That is the criteria to choose a Jain monk. Like Buddha's penis is always spoke about. For 2,500 years, the tradition of the monastic discipline, even among the Jains coming, whether they have a practice or not. But discipline in the ashram prevails. The technologies of enlightenment missing. But the discipline of the monastic, though blind, even today it continues. A vegetarian, a non-vegetarian, is only that. A non-vegetarian woman, same thing, same thing. Whether you are a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian, whether you are a woman or a man, you only eat non-vegetarian. That's all. And Kalidasa, he's called a slave of a woman. That's why his name is called Dasa. Dasa. Yes, a sensible, sooner or later, all those women worshippers to every day like that, spending so much money, their day dawns upon. So, in the life of Kalidasa, there arose. One day, he's walking down to a prostitute, not even a prostitute, he can buy any woman. And one day, he's walking into, he's so happy that day because he could buy the most expensive woman to that night. So, full of fragrance and full of perfume. And now he knows, if he finds a matching girl who can fulfill the thirst of his pennies, then only he gets satisfied. Then he rewards further that girl. If he finds a girl who can satisfy him, hardly he would find. It so happened, on the way he met a sadhu, a orange robes fellow. And called Hastings, because a monk, Hastings. He said, Hastings, Kampu. He said, Kampu, Sanskrit, Kampu. He's educated. Kalidasa is not ordinary person, educated, studied. Kampu. The orange rose monk laughed and laughed and laughed. No one dared to laugh at him. He laughed so loud, everyone can hear in the street. How dare he is. When Kalidasa said, when the slave of this woman, when he said, Kampu, and the monk and the orange robes, hey fool, do you understand the meaning of Kampu? Do you understand the meaning of Kampu? You're teaching me grammar? You fella? So proud of his Sanskrit grammar. You're teaching me? Hey! You stupid. In Sanskrit, Kampu is a smell. The one who removes the stink of the mind. My dear, you are saying Kampu. Every day you are adding stink. You stinking fellow, we stink. I cleansed my stink already. You said kampu. Yes, I am kampu. You now I am purified. There is no stink in me. You are not eligible to say, utter that word called kampu. Hey, stupid! You are adding a stink. You useless fellow, you never understood that word. You uttered right word for me. What a respect you have given me, but I know what you mean. And Kalidasa never expected this. And, yes, he knows he is a stink. He knows what that person is saying. He realized he is a fully enlightened person. But he is a Tantra master with a big beard. And he is a devotee of Kali, the Parashakti, Parvati. Shiva's wife, because Shiva's wife name is a Sati, awareness. All his technologies, his teacher taught us only this. He said, without awareness, where is singularity? Without observer, where is observation? That's why I adore the observer, the Parvati, not the Shiva. Whoever the Purusha, whoever the male realizes, starts adoring the wife, Sati, he has a sense. He can stand eligible to become an observer. Whoever the male doesn't realize is the stupid, ignorant. Understand? The very meaning of Sati and Pati. Shiva is called Pati. His wife is called Sati. Tasmin Sati Shvasa Prashvasa Yorghati Vicheda Pranayama Satova Asasi Satova Pasasi. Entire scripture, all the Shat Darshanas only talk about Sati, 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 Sati. Stupid males in the world today, they don't understand the meaning of what does it mean by getting married. What does it mean? Getting married is for what? A permanent observer who mends his ways, who corrects all the time, who doesn't allow him to behave like an electron, like a wave, but his duality will be removed. And the one who converts him to singularity, she is called a wife. You stupid males. Do you understand Purusha in Sanskrit means? And Kalidasa, he is not a Kali, he is a Das. Mr. Das, the Bhoga Das. His name is Bhoga Das. Bhogi, the one who enjoys every woman. Woman means a woman who entertains, who is not observer but entertains the men. Instead of correcting, the one who entertains, she is called a Bhogini. Woman should never play a role of Bhogini, Yogini. It's called Bhogadas. Every evening has to sleep with a prostitute, not prostitute. He doesn't like prostitutes, only wealthy girls, virgin girls. He can buy any girl. Even today you are a world billionaire. I think, any woman can fall for you. At the end, that is the story. Hardly there would be any woman who is. That's how Bhogadas, and now met this monk in orange robes. And that fellow doesn't even, the monk in orange robes did not even care about his status or whatever it is. Who it is, there's no trace of any kind of any feeling in that monk's face by saying it. He only laughed at him. First time he saw a person laughed at him. And question is, yes, absolutely that monk is right. What Bhogadas did, he went and fell down on her feet, in his feet. Then he took, you fella, what a stink you added, Kampu. So, bow down in front of the feet of the Kali, because you, murderer of the woman, you have used a woman who is supposed to be worshipped as a means of entertainment every day. Instead of becoming a Purusha and showing them a union, you fella. Like Krishna, instead of becoming a Krishna, you become like this, useless fella. First, confess in front of that woman called Kali, the mother, Parashakti. That's all. He didn't say to me, he said to the goddess, awareness, goddess of awareness, observer, Kalidasa, a worshipper of a woman, as a sex toy, now has become a worshipper of a mother, a goddess as a mother, day in and out. He cried. How he treated every woman as a prostitute. And one night, utterly crying, treating woman as a piece of entertainment, a piece of sex toy. Right. The Guru introduced her what she is educated in. And crying, inconsolably crying. He would not sleep. He is not able to concentrate, not able to practice. So guilty. Whenever he is looking at the statue, his mind is remembering, looking at her breast, looking at her waistline. The stink of his mind reminds his stink every day. Struggling to, not to look at her breast, not to look at her waistline. Crying. And one night when he is sleepless, one of the nights he hardly had. One night when he was just like, it so happened, the mind somehow calmed down. It went into completely repentive mode, exhausted completely. It repented what it did. And mind somewhere it tuned into. He went into a dream state and where he saw the mother manifesting. Henceforth you are a Kalidasa. Bhogadas, now you have realized the value of a woman, isn't it? You are incredible soul you will become. Henceforth you will become a carrier of, gift of poetry of the Sanskrit. Because you are eligible, you have seen the highest level of entertainment. And now you have completely washed off your repentive. You know the value of Sanskrit. That's why I bless you. Now you speak a language of a ordinary person of a sex, but with the meaning of enlightenment. You are the best. No yogi can write that. Only Kalidasa. You can only, having seen every woman, you know that what a woman stands out in terms of her beauty. But connecting that beauty to her inner beauty, to ultimate as an energy, henceforth you will write. You will become a great poet. Finish your journey, get enlightened and become poet. Whatever you write, in the history in India it will remain forever. You are my disciple, whom I love the most, for your transformation, for your respect, for a woman completely 100% transformed. Don't cry. Although tears should be rolled in the words, whoever reads your poetry should be very moving. And Kalidasa, Bhogadas has become Kalidas. He got up. He said he never knew the poetry. In Sanskrit, he doesn't know the poetry. He knows Sanskrit. Of course, everything is in the form of poetry, but his skill as a poet or his skill as a grammarian, hardly anything. He wanted to test whether it was a dream or whether it is a really, mother blessed him. Then in praise of her, what he saw, and he has written, and he chanted it. And Guru outside waiting. Bhogadas, you have become now Kalidas, isn't it? You have the mother's blessing now, Bhogadas. Now you are a Kalidas, my favorite disciple. Now, go out as a Kalidas. He's a Guru, named as name. He knows already. Guru knows outside what this fellow is going through. Guru taught him the technologies. He finished. Entire darkness in him. Kala means darkness, which has to be shattered, which has to be mercilessly removed. So that's how Bhogadas worked very hard, dispelled the darkness of ignorance, working very hard. That's how he has become the one who has seen end the Kalaratri, the darkness, has become a Kali. Kalidas is not a Kaladas, he is a Kalidas. Understand? That's all. Whatever flew out from him, adored across the depth, breadth, and the width, like Shankaracharya's poetry. Shankaracharya's poetry. Kalidasa poetry. Kalidas is much before Shankaracharya. Kalidas poetry remained forever, even today. In Sanskrit, if you want to know the beauty of the woman, no one equivalent to the Kalidas poetry in terms of understanding a woman, in terms of understanding each and every part of her and incredible nature of a woman. If anyone in the history of India, in the world of the Sanskrit and its grammar, the best poetry even today stands out is the Kalidas. Then comes is Shankaracharya. Is the upper Kalidas, but Kalidas' story is different. Shankaracharya story is different. Shankaracharya from childhood onwards has a vairagya. Never tempted towards any of the superconscious states. He prayed every goddess. He prayed every god to show him a guru. After all the prayers are over, after all the stotras are over, then only he could get in the dream, just like he got a Kali, he could get the Shiva, Shankara, Shivas in the Kashi in his dream. By then, he already wrote more than 270 books he has written. There is no stotra, there is no mandala he has not constructed, there is no stotra which he has not written. His poetry stands out. There is no yogi poetry there is no yogi's poetry that is in front of Shankaracharya's skill in Sanskrit, using Sanskrit as purely to develop vairagya, purely to develop detachment. Every word loaded full of Vedanta, full of Shad-darshanas, full of wisdom, every word. For you to understand a stotra of Shankaracharya or a word of Shankaracharya is like a word of Patanjali would be easy to understand. But a word of Shankaracharya to understand, you need to have entire understanding of entire breadth and width of, entire length and the breadth of spirituality, the world of Sanskrit, entire world of spirituality, from Kshudra to witchcraft practitioner to the highest level of non-duality. Every word is fully loaded with the meaning. Only the one who has seen the entire India, every ashram, every cave, can understand Shankaracharya's any word. Otherwise, you can't comprehend even a single word meaning. And its application in that context, impossible. Unless you are a yogi, not an ordinary yogi. Unless, like Shankaracharya, if you have traveled the length and the breadth, like him if you made a journey, then only you can appreciate. Then only you can understand every stotra written by him. Like every stotra of a woman written by a Kalidasa, every stotra of every angel and every god written by Shankaracharya. How specific it is, how distinct it is, the usage of that word in that context. Understand. That is Shankaracharya. In the entire history in India, Guru is worshipped, but no one adored like Shankaracharya. What not is written about the Guru every day. His day begins with a poetry or spirituality, gratitude prayer. Every morning it dawns upon him. The first syllables come out of him or in adoring a shloka, a chant of a guru comes out every morning. Every morning. His soul search. His spirit search for a Holy Spirit. His spirit search for a Tawheed, Allah. The technology of conquering the world with Jihad-e Akbar. How many lifetimes? How many lifetimes? Like me, I was very clear. What is Vidya, what is Avidya? So he was very clear. What is Vidya, Avidya? He's so tired. Cave to cave, forest to forest, peak to peak. Every peak in Himalayas he explored. The barefoot. Every peak you go in Himalayas, you will find a cave where locals will tell you this is a place where Shankaracharya meditated. Where you go to Pahad region, where you go to Himal region, peaks of the ice you go, or the forests of Himalayas you go, or you go to Gompas, where Tibetan monasteries exist. Once upon a time, where Hindu monasteries exist, even today exist. Where Krishnamacharya picked up. Everywhere you will hear, and such is the Shankaracharya's understanding. Shankaracharya's stotra means Shankaracharya every morning. So that day morning, looking at his feet, tears rolling down. And standing there, he loudly chanted what I chanted this morning. Sandals, looking at those sandals, hitting at their sandals. Guru is inside. What happened? He is not coming inside the cave. He got stuck up outside at the sandals. Govinda is listening inside. His Guru is waiting upon him. And the student got stuck up with the sandal out there outside. And he is hearing what Shankara is saying this. And Govinda, his Guru, understood how incredible Shankaracharya is. Why he was instructed, why he was Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya, why he was representing Gaudapadacharya and Mandukacharya, Patanjali, Adishesha, the Vishnu, he understood. Why Shiva or why Vishnu chose Shankaracharya. If any guru looks for the disciple with highest knowledge, with all-round knowledge, with highest qualities, but utter humility, utter gratitude overflowing every moment, the one who is willing to sacrifice his life at any point of time, So he is a teacher, Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya. For him he came down from Badarikaranya, from Badarikashrama, traveled down to the south. That was the impression. That was a student time, a guru relationship. Shankaracharya said, he is not even a sand grain under his sandal. Every day, every shloka, whether you take Viveka Chudamani, whether you take Aparokshanabhuti, every text, after he met his teacher, whatever he wrote, absolute spirituality. The first minimum 3 shlokas will go only in respect to his Guru. 4th shloka talks about what a student should look for, what he was looking for. How his life would have ended as animal, mere animal, had he not met his Guru. Where you take Aparokshanabhuti, every text, every book that came from his voice, Shrutava, Sushruta. A student is supposed to be called Sushruta. Sushruta means he is not that one who serves a Guru, the one who hears sound of silence for the purification is called Sushruta. In Ayurveda there exists a great Sushruta, the one who heard, the Shiva, the ultimate healer, and the dimension of healing he heard, administering the letters of the Sanskrit for performing a surgery of the mind is the Shiva, and he grasped the surgery of the body also, and he purified himself. He became a Sushruta, the famous surgeon. Once upon a time, the famous surgeon. There is no surgery he could not perform. The sutures he used is the hair strand he used for the sutures. Hair is so delicate. He used the hair strand for the sutures of every surgery he performed. He used to pluck. He has grown his hair. And every surgery he performs, he pulls out his hair and he does the sutures. And he is an enlightened person. There is no surgery that failed. Every surgery he performed, because he is already purified, he is a yogi, he is a super success. Everything healed so quick, so quick. That's how Sushruta became an India's best known Ayurveda surgeon whose texts still available. If the Charaka, Patanjali is direct student of Shiva, Sushruta also direct student of Shiva. At the same time, Charaka and Sushruta are almost contemporaries, though the modern Ayurveda, so loses sometimes the time scale. Every student too. A guru is supposed to be every child to their parents. A child who listens to the parents, who takes every word of the parents as a positive, not as a curse, not as a disliking him, but like a blessing. Whatever the word said by the parents, in a hatred or in praise, a good child means he takes it as a blessing. My father always, many times he said, "You are not even a fit." He told me, "You are not even a fit to clean the dishes in the hotel, on the table." So I learned about cleaning. My father always reminded me, I am not even fit to clean the dishes, the plates. In a hotel means the plate is used by everyone. And and all kinds of the people, all kinds of the empty plates over there. You will find after they eat. Then you have to collect each plate and keep in, this. And then you have to go inside, you have to clean, with the bare hands. In those days, I only imagine what my father is saying. I never thought it as a curse. I thought it as a blessing. Oh. Engili, Angili, the one who eats on the past karma, who lives on the past karma. A plate, eating plate is called as the one who eating the last, because whatever the food on the plate is coming from the past karma, isn't it? He is eating and his karma, unless he is doing a good karma right now. That's why in Sanskrit it is called, Angili has become an Engili. Your tongue, whatever your tongue gets in this life, it is a Engili, it means it comes from the past, stale food. We are living on the stale food, unless you are a yogi, unless you are doing a good karma right now for your bright future. Otherwise, you are eating on. If you don't realize what is the Angili, then you are eating your entire life only Angili. And my father said, you have to clean those plates of the Angili, That's how. In yoga, the technologies of Angili Mudra, I understood everything. What my father said. It took some time because I never considered it as a curse. I understood even the job, so what? I would enjoy cleaning the plates. My father said, yes, if I can get that job, how lucky I am. To cleanse everyone, Engili, to clean everyone's karma. Isn't it? What kind of the job it is. How incredible it is. Every day my mother does at home. My mother does only for our family. If we do for everyone, how incredible it is. A person waiter, a cleaning in the hotel, how lucky he is. More than my mother. And my father is telling me, yes, to be more than my mother. I adore my mother and more than that. And now, what is my job? My job is to clean everyone's Engili only, your past karma only. I love cleaning, eaten plates after you finish your meal. Even today, I clean my own plate. I wash, I take my own plate and keep it in the dishwasher or in the wash basin there. My wife won't allow me to clean it completely. Even if I clean, she won't satisfy. That's the problem. As a wife, she is supposed to do her job. That's why I always take my plate and leave in the, if time permits, if I find any plate over there on the table, when I get, if no one is there to prevent me, my wife, then I pick up every plate. Even today, I pick up every plate. I feel so happy I got an opportunity to pick up a plate on the table, whoever it is, whether it's my child, whether my in-laws, whoever it is, or a guest. It is it. Now what the job I am doing for you? The next meditation course, what do you mean? You are living, do you know? You think you are hearing this. So I am observing the number of views for this open session. One day 1100, one day 1400, then 800, 600. Your views, because I am not a sizzling girl with bottom and bosom to get millions of the views, isn't it? In which world is interested? Now can you understand? Look at my YouTube and look at the number of views. Whom world adores? What's my job? The next course is, what is the job I am teaching you? How to clean your past karma. Engili. My job is to clean your plate. If you give your plate, no. If you don't even give your plate, how do I clean? I don't want to give my plate. That's not called a surrender. You have to give the plate to the Guru. You have to surrender to the Guru. Then he is teaching you the technologies of how to clean your karma. Guru gives the detergent. A detergent which is powerful. Sound of silence. And it can wash us. Only if you use it, it washes all the sins. All your angli is cleaned. All your past karma will be removed. Provided if you use a detergent. Sound of silence. Understand? So, every word in Sanskrit, in Indian culture, people just like that they use. Once upon a time when Kalidasa uses or anything, I adore not Kalidasa, Shankaracharya. Of course Kalidasa, I read every book of him. His book, one of the women praising book called Shrungara Naishada is so famous. But not for that. Kalidasa is famous. Just like when you watch a Matrix movie, for you it is like a movie where you will be shown fantastic graphics deployed by the software for the first time in the history of the Hollywood, the best of the graphics. The most expensive animations and graphics used, softwares used. Similarly, after that, there is Avatar movie. For you, simply it is not the dialogue you are listening, but the pictures on the screen actually for you. You adore those movies have become successful, not because of the depth of the dialogues, those movies. For me, the depth of the dialogue. For me, it is not Kalidasa as a womanizer or a poet of a womanizer, no. The depth of his vocabulary, the depth of his dialogue, inner dialogue. So also Shankaracharya's also, the depth of his inner dialogue. Every word that flows from him, Sushruta. How lucky. So every day, the one who serves Guru, all that one has to do is a Sushruta. Serving the Guru means what? Listening to the Guru. Will purify everything, washes off all the sin. Because that sound becomes Sushruta. He became a surgeon. And Shankaracharya, when he uttered this, his Guru realized and said, oh, what a Sushruta I have. How his student is in adoring his teaching. Because he is a teacher. Govinda Bhagavat Padacharya studied Buddhism in Himalayas. Everything he studied, Shad Darshanas. He practiced every meditation. He's the epitome of the technique of self-realization, self-actualization. He can use any upamana, any example, any anomaly from any entire gamut of, he has shown Shankaracharya how broad. He has shown spirituality as an absolute science, devoid of Panchavarnama Bhedat Varjitam Aprameyam, impromptu. That's why he adored his teacher. His teacher made it universal. Every human He's talking about becoming a good human, the science of becoming a good human as the spirituality, nothing else. That's all. That's why Shankaracharya, his guru saw what this is a Sushruta, a good student who is listening him. Absolutely, Sushruta, a student who listens every word, respects, as I said, whatever my father said, I never considered it as a curse. I considered it as a blessing. Whatever Guru says, a word coming from, a letter coming from a Guru voice, a Guru Sandal talking about, a voice is a blessing for a student. What word from my father doesn't matter, because for me, I consider it as a blessing only. It's only an entire my life, only once I criticized my father in front of my mother. For that I'm beaten up, I told you. And I never forgot those beaten up wounds. My mother cried, I cried. Never repeated it again. Whether you react to a Guru word means you're not understanding your parents' words. You're not listening. You're not a Sushruta. You're not a good child at all. First of all, be a good child. First listen. Listen to your parents. Never consider it as a curse. No parent will curse you. It is a blessing for you. Even it comes from them. They have given you hardware and software. It is there. It belongs to them. They can do anything. You buy a doll. You buy a doll in the market. You buy a car in the market. You can do whatever you want. No one will question you. Then how come you are questioning? This body and mind is given by your parents. They have every right to do anything with this. Listen. Consider anything given by them as a blessing. Never consider it as a curse. Similarly, that's why it's called Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atiti Devo Bhava. Understand? A Guru means an absolute. Whatever the word comes from here, the one who doesn't judge is called a student. The one who doesn't react is a student. The one who responds is a student like a Shankaracharya, is a student like Kalidasa. If you don't have that quality, then it is not a yoga to connect. If you can't even connect it to your, can't even hear, you can't even connect it to the parents who have given you hardware and software, you can't even connect it to who is going to give you a second birth, then don't come to spirituality. Don't even enter into any church. Don't even enter into any mosque. Don't even enter into any temple. Don't even read any book. Never pray any angel in your life. Never make a mockery of saying Jesus or a prophet or any goddess in India. You're not eligible. You're not eligible. Yoga is far away. Then don't come to yoga. Don't practice anything in yoga. Go to the gym. Go to the soldier training. Never say it as a yoga. Never come to the yoga, first of all. If you have no quality of this, And that too as a yoga teacher further. Do you understand what is a yoga teacher? A training of yoga, your students for the fitness. First of all, do you have that quality in you? Do you understand? Do you think Shankaracharya and he's a mad guy chanting this, or every morning Kumar, Dr. Kumar is wasting his time? You are looking for jumping on the mat, you useless fellow. Don't come to yoga, don't practice yoga. Go to the gym. Never utter a word of yoga. Yoga means connecting. You fellow, judge. I'm telling you not to judge even a word of your parents. You are stupid yoga. Understand? This is a problem. Doesn't matter whether I get 1 view or 1,000 views, doesn't matter at all. But your yoga, you're killing yoga. Like Kalidasa said, Kampu. Do you know? I tell the same thing to you. Like those monk wearing the orange robes, he said, I have to laugh in the same way at your yoga. When you say yoga, what you're talking about yoga? I have seen so-called those who have carried the certificates from me. There's no change in them. Neither the girls nor the boys. There are people who follow, but there are also people arrogant, self-worshipping, no gratitude. I feel shameful about these students, like Krishnamacharya felt shameful to talk about, who stayed with him for a long time and who betrayed him in the back. Will you become a yogi by learning Iyengar yoga? Without the blessing of a guru, your teaching will be blind, like a blind person teaching. You archery, a blind person teaching a archery. You may be a best yoga teacher considered as by these stupids, but your teaching will not serve any purpose, it will not give any health. Ultimately, one day, your health will be spoiled, your mind will be spoiled. If you have no guru and you learned without guru, your teaching will only harm the people, will damage the people sooner or later. That's what Krishnamacharya yoga, that's what Pattabhijaya's yoga is all about. That's all the yoga of the Iyengar. Never be proud. They are not authorized. They are not blessed. They have no permission to teach from Krishnamacharya. So, you practice the best of vinyasa, you can't be fit. Best of Iyengar you practice, you can't be fit. One day you will die. Some problem, you are bound to have a problem. You will die of a problem. I'm not joking. Because a guru, a teaching without the blessing of his guru, not authorized to teach, went on teaching, the entire lineage of yoga will never allow, will never permit you to do that. You damn fool. First thing you have to examine is whether your guru is authorized. He doesn't have to tell whether he has the blessing of his guru or not. That's it. There is no agreement required. Iyengar should tell, yes, I have the blessing of Krishnamacharya. That's why I am teaching. Did he say? Pattabhijay should tell, I am authorized by Krishnamacharya. That's why I am teaching. How come you will learn from an unauthorized teacher? Understand? Had I not met Krishnamacharya, the story would have been perhaps different. Understand? What yoga you are going to learn, from whom you are learning, has he learned in a legitimate tradition? Had he learned Sushruta, has he heard from a guru in Himalayas? Or a guru like Krishnamacharya? Have you heard? Have you learned your yoga like that? Then your yoga will not serve you. Your yoga, whatever you are calling yoga, it will not help you. That is the story of today. Practitioners of the yoga, are they fit? I can 100% tell, I am 100% fit. I met 4 times accident. By 4th accident, 37 fractures. I have undergone urethroplasty surgery. My entire penis ruptured. Yet I have 2 children. That is yoga. Why? Because I never betrayed on my gurus. There is a system. Don't you know? Being an Indian, you have to learn from a tradition, from a guru. Who is a guru? Who represents the lineages. Purvesham api guru kale vacheda. Because it comes cheap or whatever it is. Everyone is a guru. One doesn't even know the what is the meaning of a guru. You damn fellows. And you become a guru, another guru. And my students claim, can we teach? I don't know the very thought, how it comes into their mind. Why they don't feel shameful to teach, first of all, I don't know. How they feel qualified to teach. That's an amazing question in my mind all the time. Because I always felt completely inadequate to teach. I never thought I would teach. I only practiced for myself, let me tell you. It's not I helped others in the ashrams, but not as a teacher. To be a teacher means, you have to be adequate. I never felt eligibility to teach, first of all. Though my teachers told me, I never felt I am eligible to teach. Understand? How come today, when I look at someone, they ask, sir, I think I can teach now. We can teach. Sir, you give me. Shall I name, sir, my yoga studio? My students, few of my students in India, racing on the Facebook, and one in California, a dentist profession, and in Hyderabad. Yes, if they are mature enough. But I can see how they worship these female, their bodies. why they want to teach. Is it to clean their empty plates? Or is it to add something, to get something in their plate? The only means of why they want to teach is, already this plate is not clean, and now they want to add something into the plate. I think when the students praise, the parrot vocabulary, they can use what I use. So students will praise them. Oh, great. So their hair stands on their skin. When you praise my gurus, my hair stands, not when you praise me. I don't stand anywhere. Understand? Where do I stand? I'm not even a speck of a dust under the sandal of Shankaracharya. Understand? For even I doubt whether I can pay enough respects and enough gratitude to these Shankaracharya, these great lineages, to Krishnamacharya. Never in my life. That's why every morning, why this goes? Timelessly, I talk about them. You take 11 months, and when a course began, every day in the course you can check how much time I spoke about gurus. Why? That inadequate I am. Understand? I'm not even considered as a speck of a dust to talk about yoga, to talk about this Krishnamacharya, Shankaracharya. Understand? Where is Kumar? Who is he? You should feel the same now. I don't see that in you. I don't see that in you. Understand? All those who gave us the technologies to clean our mess, our plates, listening every word. You don't even have patience to listen. You don't even have patience to listen. By listening, you think you are doing a great favor to someone, not to you. With great difficulty you hear. Not that inner surge, wanting to listen more and more, more and more, more and more. That was called Sushruta all the time. But it is a Vishnu Devananda, every ashram I went, even Iyengar, I wanted to hear him morning to evening, not even a moment, just like a girlfriend, a new girlfriend, a newfound boyfriend. You don't want to leave even for a while, isn't it? Exactly the same. Wherever ashram I went, whichever the guru I am with, it is like your favorite, your first crush. I never wanted to leave, even for a moment, a guru vanishing, morning to evening, I just wanted to watch him, I wanted to listen to him. The more I listen, the more my hair stand. What he spoke doesn't matter. Listening to a guru itself. Glance of a guru itself. Listening to a guru itself. The more hours guru has given me, I could hear, I can't tell you. My joy of listening to, hearing to Guru, my joy of glancing at Guru. Someone counts 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Mishako, 4 hours every day, is it? 2 hours, First of all, I don't know what this psychology is all about. Sushruta means, how come you are a Sushruta? When you're counting the time to listen, it is timeless. Listening is about your devotion you have. So if you are a Sushruta, that's all. You only hear. Timeless it is. You will never know even the time. And you want to listen again and again, again and again, again and again. A guru voice, a guru glance of a guru, and a voice of a guru. Who says? Who gets satisfied? If it's available 24/7, I don't sleep. I won't even get. Impossible. Impossible for me. Impossible. That's a devotion. That is the urge. There's a soul call. There's the respect. There's the reverence. There's the gratitude. Every pore of my body, in every ashram. Do I find one? A question. Do I find one? I haven't found one. Whose hair stands, more I speak. Whose hair stands, glancing at. I don't. I see the one who is validating, who is appreciating. The perception, their way of understanding. They exhibit their panditya of what they heard. Everyone. When I hear them, when I read these messages, or when I directly speak to them, their panditya comes. Where is the Sushruta? It is like Kalidasa, Bhogadasa it is. For many of my students it is. This teaching is Bhogadasa. To intellectualize, to use it somewhere, not for transformation. Because if I don't teach yoga asanas, you may not be watching this. I know. After 1 hour, 2 hours. First of all, when you open on YouTube, you will see how many hours it is. That's why on open channel, our students should never keep 4 hours continuous. They should break it. Keep it separately, practice separately, chanting separately. Every day on YouTube, it has to be loaded like half an hour, bits. Then only people can view. The whole session, they should not even keep other than the course material. When course begins, it's different. Otherwise, they should not keep it continuous. Keeping it continuous means they are killing the yoga. Only live, it has to be continuous. Once it is over, it has to be dissected. Because the moment first thing you open your YouTube is anyone in the world, how many hours it is? Close. Now. If it's 1 minute, your attention span is only 1 minute. You are looking for 1 minute. Let me. First you look at the time. Do you think journey in the timelessness begins with the time? Our journey in the timeless should begin with the timelessness. It only indicates how much you are interested, how you are not interested. Understand? It is not you are interested in what it is in it. The one who is looking at the time bar, the moment you open a YouTube in the spirituality, you are gone case. Understand? You will never become a Sushruta class you don't even belong to. But what to do? That's why I have to tell my volunteers, whether they are already doing or still they are keeping continuously on YouTube. This is all 1 week already over, more than 1 week. I'm not sure. If they have not kept it as a piece, I mean they killed it actually. Virtually, they deprived everyone not to get yoga. Because all those things I don't look into. My job is to teach you how a student should be, what are the qualifications of a yoga, what is yoga, who is a yogi. If I don't tell you, in the name of yoga, you are a bohi. You are a Bhogadas, you are not a Kalidas. You are not a Shankaracharya. No way. Understand. You are representing a tradition, my dear. Tradition called yoga, which is taught by only yogis. Your tendencies and your means. You are hearing this itself, you consider you are doing a great favor to whom? You can become a good student, a devoted student. Can you become a yogi? The one who judges, the one who feels, oh, I can hear. Understood. The journey into the timelessness has to begin in a timelessness. That can only happen, when you prepare to listen, when you silence your brain chatter. What is preventing you to listen? Your chatter, your noise in the brain. When there is a noise, you can't hear the sound, isn't it? Can you hear? What is preventing you? Your own noise. Your noise is good. Yoga means silencing. Silence. So your noise is preventing to experience your silence, first of all. Silence is already there. But your brain chatter, your noise is a suffering. Now here, also you are using the noise. Your hair is not standing listening to a word of a guru or a glance of a guru means what? You are not listening. Why you are not listening? There is a sound going on, more sound is going on than this, even loud voice. That sound is called kshipta bhumika, brain chatter. Your brain sound, your brain noise, your brain chatter, your intellect, chatter of your intellect, chatter of your perception, chatter of your ego, chatter of your sense doors, chatter of your mind. All the chattering, they are feeding you. So how come you will listen to me? Where is the pratyahara? Understand? I have to teach you yoga. I only teach yoga. I am not here to please you. And now, today come on, let's jump. Isn't it? Neither the ancient wisdom, nor the modern science, Anything I teach, even modern science, as a scientist when I speak about even your muscle and all, even that also, how many of you are interested in listening? Only even that. Listening to understand, assimilate, grasp. Neither the science of that saints nor the science of the modern scientists. You are unscientific, that's why you don't appreciate the science. Unfortunately, yoga is a science. Understand? Astitvam, nastik. How come you are a stupid nastika? Unscientific? Yoga is for unscientific. Astika, astitvam, asti. Scientific. Logical, on 16 steps to prove you are right. Minimum 16 explanations you have to give. How you are right, why it is like that. Every day, each one of my teaching you check. That's called tarka vitarka. Tarkyama bodhaka apratarkyama bodhaka. Today morning chanting, Guru, hey Guru, tarka vitarka. What world thinks you tell, and how we should think you will tell, and how to correct ourselves you tell. You take us always from known to unknown. From our ignorance, how the world thinks blindly you tell, then how logically to think you tell. In 10 ways you tell. Dashanada bhedakam Dashanada bheda vinodakam. That's a Guru. Even to hear this also difficult for you. You are a foreigner, in fact as a foreigner I am saying, your message or response are far better. You should see Indians. They understand this is what I am saying. But inertia, like Vivekananda said, useless fellows. Entertain, they are all interested in full of diabetes, sugar, full of problems, storehouses of problems, a mess. Yet they don't want to listen. They don't want to investigate. They don't want to learn in a scientific way. They think simply physical exercise will make them cure their problems, all problems. They glue to it, and when they see all this talk is going, not other YouTube channel, open it. Here he is jumping. Let me jump. Your every cell is already contracted. That's the root cause. Anabolic. Yoga exercise is for anabolic. Are you not anabolic? What is the problem? Why metabolism has come down? Why mitochondrial count has come down? Why your mitochondrial count? Is it you have to develop anabolic or catabolic? What is your problem? Anabolic means contraction. I am telling you, morning to evening you are anabolic only. Your tension, your emotion, your stress, morning to evening. Every moment you are riding your bike or you are riding your car, you are driving your car. Every moment since you are stepping in your organization till the end, you leave your organization in the evening, on the way back home too. And the moment you are entering into the home till you sleep, what are you doing? Tell me. Reacting. What is the reaction? Tension. Is there any moment, morning to evening, that there is no, oh my God. No, why you are not listening? Oh my God. Why I don't have that tension? I can go to workplace anytime. I could win my boss. I'm not a slave. I'm a yogi. I'm a master. I can go anytime. I can do my job. It's not that I'm not doing job. My boss will not even question me at what time I'm coming, at what time I'm leaving. That's the level of command that you need to exercise at every place. Do you think anyone in my organization can go at that time? No. But no one will question. Why? They know I do more than anyone else. By all means. Why haven't you earned that? Why you are looking at the time? Why am I not looking at the time? You stupid? Is it a yogi? Is it your interest? Why you could not manage in your organization? Why you are a slave there? In the process of becoming a master, why are you not already a master? Why you could not manage your workplace? like me. Why anyone in your organization dare enough to tell you what's the time? Why they question you? Because you're non-performance, non-compliance. Huh. Why? My organization is much more stricter than any of your damn organizations. Understand? Why? None of my bosses or none of my colleagues, none, even my supreme boss doesn't ask me. Why? Do you ask a child who studies very well, 99.99, why are you not studying? His scorecard is always top 1 in his class. Do you ask him? You don't ask. To whom you ask? The one who doesn't score at all, the one who is struggling to score, or the one who is always standing second or third or fourth. That is the level of your interest in yoga. My level of interest in yoga is, look at, I can go any time to my organization, any time I can come back. Do you think I'm taking advantage? No. My contributions, everyone knows. Continuously. In fact, they can't take my contributions. Understand? Do you think in my work, in my house, do you think my wife and children have complained? Because I'm teaching 4 hours. What's your complaint? Where you are compromising? To listen to the yoga. Where I am compromising? I am not compromising anywhere. I am not compromising with the yoga. That is the reason all others are managed. You are compromising with yoga. Nothing outside is manageable for you. You are stupid. That is your interest in yoga? Is it the quality of a seeker? Watching at 8 o'clock, when we begin at morning, 5 o'clock, hundreds of views, 100 views, 200 views. You can see that count, no? And once 8 goes, 8 o'clock, 40, 50, 20. Then next day I will see 1,000. After 3 days I will see 1,100. That is you, a yogi becoming. Anabolic. What is anabolic? Morning to evening already, everything in tension. Oh my God, I have to go now. You useless fella. You are killing your DNA, you are killing yourself. Is your mother and father given this body to kill? And still you are looking, again exercise means to kill, again to contract. Anabolic means kill. Contraction simply. Every emotion, every tension, is there any moment, morning to evening, that you are tension free? You are not even able to sleep properly. Or you have bad dreams in the night. You are a mess. There is not even a single moment. This continuous contraction of the cell shrunk already. Everything is dying in the cell. Cell volume reduced. Why? Because continuously you kept it tight. Is there any moment your 70 trillion cells, is there any moment that they are at the liberty, at the freedom to breathe and to have oxygen in them, to have a mitochondria? And again, yoga means, exercise means, again another contraction. Do you think tight contraction is called yoga or exercise? Is it the way called fitness? To build further tension, further testosterone. What a stupid you are. Have you seen the tension? In which muscle the tension is more? In this muscle, concentric muscle of a heavyweight champion or 100 meters heavyweight champion of Olympics? Or next muscle, a muscle of 100 meter Usain Bolt, 100 meter sprinter? Why it is like this? Why it is little like this? An ultra marathon runner? A muzzle of a marathon runner, ultra marathon runner. Indirectly, what is this shape telling you? This is telling you CP. This is telling you CP and glycogen. This is telling you about glucose. This is called anaerobic. This is called anaerobic. This is called consumption based. Aerobic. Or minus oxygen aerobic. Anaerobic. Minus oxygen, so called aerobic. Anaerobic glucose pathways. Isn't it? Which muscle it is? Why it is less? So anaerobic is what it is? Testosterone. More testosterone. Testosterone. Is it testosterone? No. Very less. The storehouse of the testosterone, aggressive hormone, the more store of the testosterone, little less, and here no testosterone. Testosterone is not driving the cell. Cell is not a place for the testosterone deposition, isn't it? Your androgens and your testicles should store the testosterone, not every cell, isn't it? Is it muscle is used for storing the testosterone? Or muscle should be used to store oxygen? You have only two options. Either you store testosterone or you store oxygen. Only any one thing you can store, not both. Yes, if you design to a certain extent, yes, reasonable balance. Absolutely. It's about balance. It's all about shaping. The design is how much testosterone you need to have. The more testosterone means more aggressive you become. Means less efficient you become. Very quickly get discharged. This fellow discharged in 3 seconds. This fellow got discharged in 8 seconds. This fellow got discharged in 20 minutes. But your life is morning tea in 24/7. Isn't it? 24/7. All this is the highest anabolic. This is second anabolic. This is the third anabolic. Contraction, morning to evening. Your cell shrunk by means of your cell itself is like that now. Or like this. Your tension morning to evening, your tension in every cell. Every cell shrunk, tension, 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 tension. Tension, tension, tension. Again in the name of exercise, what you are causing? Again anabolic. What you are looking? Best exercise in your meaning? Anabolic. Again a contraction. Already there is a contraction. Again you want to cause contraction. Yes. You have to do the contraction to remove the existing contraction in the cell. That is the purpose of contraction. Understand? The purpose of contraction is to remove the existing contraction of the cell, existing tension in the cell. You have to apply a new tension, otherwise not possible. You have to apply a new tension to remove the existing tension. That is only the way you can remove the tension. Creating a new stress is only the way to remove the existing stress. But creating a new stress is to remove the existing stress to make the stress zero. Understand? So what is most important is creating a stress, not with the consumption, like now. Creating a stress, achieving zero, again taking away, this is creating the stress. This is releasing the stress. reversible. So this is what we understood yesterday. By default, your body is already anabolic. By default, your body is already anaerobic. All that you have to build is aerobic capacity. Anabolic means that your tension in the muscle is consuming whatever ATP generated. Your system is always minus ATP. Each one of them indicates this is completely minus ATP. How quickly ATP exhausted, how quickly ATP, how short the life of the ATP, how short the next is how short, how long is the life of the ATP. For a yogi, ATP is infinite. For you, depends on when you say, I am so tired today, not today. Not today. I am so tired today, not today. How many times you said this word? I'm tired today. What you are telling? My ATP is exhausted completely. Fatigue. After you have a fatigue, only you will say, I'm so tired today. When you say ATP must have gone long, by ATP is gone, everything is gone. That's why you fall often sick. A repeated deficit of ATP, you fall sick. Whatever it is, headache or any ache in your body, any metabolic disorder in you, is simply a repeated minus ATP. Your system went to several times minus ATP. Why? Why minus ATP? Why not plus ATP? Are you not eating? Are you not eating? So, I am eating more. So. Why you are minus ATP? Whatever ATP generated, where it is going? Tension, anabolic. Anabolic means consumption of ATP. That's a fundamental thumb rule, you remember? Consumption of ATP. Anaerobic, anabolic means consumption of ATP. Fundamentally understand. Anabolic, anabolic. Consumption of ATP. Your every damn reaction, mental, physical, shows only your weakness. Your anger to, your envy to, so all the thing, blaming children to blaming anyone in the world indicates, do you know what it indicates? It indicates your weakness. You're not a strong person. It indicates how weak you are. You're thinking you're strong. You're the most weakest person. Understand? It only indicates you're minus ATP. I have a short temper. When you say you are a minus ATP, you are telling me I am so weak. I have a minus ATP. Anaerobic. Anger means, short temper means like those bulk muscle fellow. Testosterone. Your system is completely testosterone you use. Means there is no mitochondria inside. There is no mitochondria inside. There is no oxygen inside. That's why short temper. You burst out and again come down. Burst out, come down. I have this problem of short temper, Mr. Karma. Means your cell capacity of aerobic capacity is zero. You are leading the life of completely anaerobic. And that even in anaerobic also, is it glycogen? Or is it CP? You are using CP, phosphocreatine. That's why. That's why your back problem, your knee problem, your hypothyroidism, what not, you name it, it is there. Your emotion, your feelings, or your weaknesses. Understand, it is not your strength. That realization itself is a super realization called yoga. The one who conquers the emotion, who conquers the feelings is called a yogi. Why? Because they are the worst mechanisms of consumption of your ATP. Worst consumptions are not to exercise in the gym, consuming your ATP. Your morning to evening, your damn behavior is consuming your ATP. You are reacting to the way you are performing your job is consuming your ATP, not the job. Understand. You stupid fellow. Understand. I am telling you why. What is anabolic? What is emotion? What is a feeling? What is a metabolic disorder? Talk about fitness later. First let us discuss damn problem you and me have. Understand? Your fitness is a fraud. What is your fitness? Further to shout on wife, to show your muscle, you useless fellow. Are you a boxer in the ring to fight, to convert this life into a fight? With whom you are racing? Life is a race with your colleagues, with your friends, with your neighbors. To kill yourself? Why are you doing the racing exercise as a fitness? Why are you doing a fighting exercise as a means of fitness? Is it a fitness? Who told you? Anabolic is a consumption of ATP. You are always deficit of ATP. Simple fact is, always deficit of ATP you are. Hardly there is any ATP. Whatever generated is already consumed. A little bit ATP generated, you reacted. You are not reactive because there is no ATP. The moment the ATP came, you reacted. Again, the moment ATP available, you started reading the novel. You started reacting, you started judging every word. This author is so good. Diverting attention. Again you generate ATP. Again you consume. Your whole life is only to consume, indebted, consuming ATP. That's why you are in a mess. Understood? You are programmed to spend every ATP molecule generated. That's called cell shrinking. That's called metabolic disorder. Your system is habituated now. Any ATP available, you are reacting. Any ATP available to spend. Drama, watching drama, little ATP available, watching the drama, spending it. All your nutrition, all your oxygen, all your damn food, not enough, whatever the amount you eat, even the fat is getting deposited in the abdomen, but yet you habituated for credit card all the time. For keeping your ATP, no cash. All the time running your life with the credit card, you habituated. Anyone running on the credit life has a tension, falls sick. The life outside is the same story. The life inside is the same story. The life inside is killing you, not the life outside. Understand? You are always leading morning to evening on minus ATP on a credit card. That's all. Whether you, whatever your profession is, whatever your education is, whatever your fitness is, all of you, I see one thing in common is you are energy deficit, you are stressed. You are simply habituated for leading the life with a credit card. That's all. Understand? First of all, your job is to minus ATP into plus ATP. Means avoid the means of consuming ATP and start doing the things which generate the ATP. Which is the yama niyama, the fundamentals, the principles of exercise. At the fundamental nature of the fitness of the mind and body is, the first thing is stop consumption of ATP. Second thing is start generating. Anabolic means consumption of ATP. Every time you react, every emotion, every feeling, and every time you stress, everything is. You are, that's why I said you are completely morning to evening. You are going to a gym or running on a treadmill again anabolic activity. I am telling you, are you fool? Already you are anabolic again. Again you further contract. Only to eat more, naturally. Already you are anabolic. Whatever you are eating is for that anabolic activity going. Now again you go, increase your anabolic activity, you eat more. Your fitness or your damn exercise means exercise to eat more. You exercise in the gym more, you work more than that you eat. Why you are eating? Like a pig? You did not really run like a horse, but yet you are eating like a pig. Why? Because whatever you ran, to compensate, you have to eat. Your energy deficit system, your energy pathways of generating the energy, generating the ATP are so poor, you have to eat so much. You work half an hour, but you eat like as if you are running for 5 or 6 hours. That is the story. Your food cravings too. Your food craving, all the time your tongue is telling, isn't it? What to eat, what to take, where to order, what to eat. The one who thinks all the time about the food, all the time about the taste, what next, what next. Why? What it indicates? How energy deficit your system is. How energy inefficient your engines are. How they are looking for the fuel. It has not even run and your fuel is consuming. A idle engine consuming the petrol. Understand. Understand, my dear. Fundamentals understand. Then what is the ATP generation system, Mr. Kama? That's called catabolism. Means which system is very poor? Minus ATP means, why you are running on a credit card? Your income is too less. Isn't it? Simple. Income is less. Your spending is more. Your ATP generation is very poor. So the purpose of exercise is to increase ATP consumption or ATP generation? Tell me. ATP, the purpose of fitness or the purpose of life is happiness means or staying healthy means, is it ATP deficit system? Cash crunch system? Is the one who is maintaining debit card is great or credit card is great? RS credit debit card. Then the purpose of fitness is the one who is called a fit, called ATP generation system, the one who has infinite capacity of ATP generation, excess ATP generation capacity has. Is called a yogi, infinite ATP generation capacity. Morning to evening is bubbling with everything for him looks easy. For everything for you looks complicated. For him, everything looks silly. All your worst complications, worst problems for a yogi, for a person like me, looks very silly. Looks like very trivial. All your grandfathers, great-grandfathers are like me. Whatever the problems today you are expressing, for them those problems are silly. The problem which is making you to think suicide, in those days, the problem is very silly. Very, very silly. Like your children problems, the future generation, your children problems, when you look at how silly it looks. The same way for me, your unhappiness, your problems, your life, your management of the time, all these things when you tell, no, about story of your children, or story of your boss, or story of your workplace, or story of all these things, your siblings, or story of all these things you tell, no. As my student, you tell, no, sir, but, but the stories of the but, only shows your weak but. Understand? Your butt is so weak. Understand? They all look for me very silly because the problems actually I had for pursuing yoga are much worse than any of the problems you express. For me, it looks very silly. It looks very, very trivial. It looks. For you, when I laugh at your problem, for you it is like, I am throwing further fuel on the fire of Rome is burning and sir is throwing the fuel on. It looks like this. It looks like I am incompassionate. I have no compassion on you. Because you are projecting your problem like that, what to do? For me, your problem, your most complicated problem looks very, very silly problem. For a yogi, the world itself is so silly. Understand? This world itself is silly. To be born again in this world is silly, Something great you have to do. How come you are born to do silly things? That's what a yogi is all about. Infinite capacity of ATP generation is object here. Means catabolism. Catabolism means relaxation of the cell. Anabolic means contraction, consumption of ATP. Relaxation of the cell. Only will generate ATP. Understood? Your cash will be generated only when your cell is relaxed. These are fundamental things you need to remember. You think you understood anabolic, you will not understand. Isn't it? You will never understand. By attending, by reading a book, by listening to damn lectures, you will never understand. You will understand when you experience it. When I tell you experience like this, you will understand what is anabolic, what is catabolic. Understood? What is the purpose of, who is a fit? The one who has capacity to generate ATP. A yogi means the one who doesn't consume any ATP at all. Bindas. I'm a fool to consume my ATP for my emotion or my anger or my feelings and all. Do you think? For my taste. I'm a fool, I'm stupid. Understand? I know how to use my ATP. Infinite ATP generation. That is the absolute objective of human existence. Because your objective is to stay happy. Happiness means plus ATP. Happiness means plus amount in the bank account. You have more money, more cash in the bank, more happy you are. Isn't it? Less tension there is. Simple. A yogi means all the time happy. Why? Because he has abundant capacity, infinite capacity of ATP generation. Very simple. The one who has infinite, he is called a fit mentally. They are not different, physically fit, mentally fit, psychologically fit, physiologically fit, all processes are the only one. Fitness is a fitness. There is not that physically fit but mentally unfit. All is indicating minus ATP system only. Physically fit means anaerobic capacity you are talking about. You useless fellow, how come he is physically fit? You are seeing his bulk muscle, Arnold Schwarzenegger bulk muscle you are watching. Do you think he is a fit? He is the worst in terms of ATP generation. Understood? He has to eat so much to generate. You and me, we don't have to eat that much. He is a star for you. For me, he is stupid. Understand? Understand? Are you adoring? In your bedroom still you are keeping those fellows with the bulk muscles? Or still are you watching WWF on your TV, adoring them? You useless fellow. You are a seeker of fitness. Huh? Understand? What is anabolism? Consumption of ATP. What is catabolism? Generation of ATP. So, what are the pathways? How ATP generated? Yes, ATP generated by CP, ATP generated by glycogen, ATP generated minus O2, ATP generated plus O2, and hardly without OT, infinite ATP generated without even O2. This is called a yogi. There is no O2 required, infinite ATP. Happiness means 24/7. This happiness is only 3 seconds. This happiness is only 10 seconds. This happiness is only 20 minutes. This happiness is only few hours, 6 hours or whatever it is. This happiness is 24/7. So what should be your fitness? A CP or glycogen or a minus O2 plus O2 or this. This sir. This I need, sir. Understood? Are you there? That is, he is called a yogi. Without any, his oxygen consumption is zero. He doesn't even breathe. Not required. Heart, first of all, breath doesn't go because cell doesn't. If cell demands, no. What is deciding oxygen? Cell will decide. What is deciding CP to burn? Cell will tell. You are in a fight and flight mode. Cell has to burn CP only for your immediate reaction. Because now you are, what to do, You looked at your wife and your ego is a problem. You looked at your wife and now, so now, there is no oxygen. You need immediately reactor. The moment you look at your wife, you have to shout, The moment you look at boss, you have to shout. So, what to do? So your cell will use, because to get oxygen from blood, time consuming, So damn your emotion, immediately your reaction needs immediate supply of energy. That's why you burn CP, making cell acid, killing your metabolism, killing further mitochondria, killing the cell. This is what you are. This is what we are doing every day, every moment. Means, as I told you, contraction, 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 contraction. Your contraction, your ATP generation has to be for infinite ATP production. How is it possible? Yesterday I told you, infinite mitochondria you need. Infinite mitochondria, 25% of the cell volume should be. When it will fill? Only when your cell is relaxed completely. Exactly. The least contraction is the highest contraction. Concentric contraction. This is eccentric contraction. Contraction is to relaxation to build mitochondria. Contraction is not to for keeping it tight like round muscle and like this muscle, like this muscle. Contraction is for relaxation. To keep 24/7 cell relaxed, you have to contract in a day, 1 hour or 2 hours. All that 1 hour, 2 hours, a programmed contraction you have to do. Your contraction is for only 1 hour. To keep your cell, your anabolic action, I'm telling you, has to be only 1 hour. And then your relaxation of your muscle has to be remaining 23 hours. This is catabolism. This is, at one stage, you don't even need this anabolism. Your cell is full of mitochondria. To generate this mitochondria, you need to contract this 1 hour. This inflammation is to allow, already your cell is shrunk, unfortunately. In order to expand the cell, you have to pull it. Whatever the cell you pulled, you allow it to stay not without tension, but automatically cell should grow. So contraction is to grow the cell. So the inflammation you are causing should lead to growth of the cell. Growth of the cell for what? For CP or glycogen? For ATP generation. For mitochondria generation. So this is called aerobic growth of the cell is most important. Not anaerobic growth of the cell. What a yogi has is a cell, a healthy cell, a aerobic growth of the cell. Every cell is full of mitochondria. Aerobic growth of the anabolic action or contraction is for aerobic growth of the cell, not for anaerobic growth of the cell. That is a fundamental lie. Means you constantly have to watch. Your ATP consumption is to facilitate, to generate more ATP. Your investment is to generate more profit. That is yoga. Your investment, more cash, more profit means your investment, less investment, more profit. That is yoga. Less investment of the time, your cell will grow and to generate more ATP. Understand? Return on investment, highest. In which case? Only in yoga case. Return on investment, going to the gym, you are not there. Return on investment is negative there. Why? Because you are building testosterone mechanism and you are unnecessarily training a muscle to react now. Further, already muscle is under the negative ATP. Now further you are training the muscle to generate more, consume more negative, more ATP. Training is not to train the muscle to consume more ATP. Understand? The training is to generate more ATP. Understand? The training is to generate more ATP with less investment of time in the contraction, with less consumption of the food and the oxygen. Understand? That's called Rakshana Krama. Training your muscle in yoga is, you need enormous skill. Whatever the ATP here, whatever the stretches you do, isometric, eccentric, isometric, concentric, whatever you do here, the purpose is to keep 24/7 relaxed catabolic activity. The 1 hour yoga activity is for 24 hours 24/7 relaxation of the cell. It is not 1 hour of the contraction, it is to build a 24/7 contraction, tension in the body. Understand? That's why the yoga sequence, the way you do asana, is the most important. So this contraction, what you call programmed contraction, is by conservation of energy. Conservation of energy, not consumption of energy. That's why in yoga, planes, axis, center of mass, center of gravity, samatvam, anghanam samatam vidvan. All the time they speak about effortless way of contraction. Your contraction should be effortless contraction with a minimum consumption to keep the cell with more mitochondria to grow your cell. With a minimum contraction, with a minimum force, towards conservation, towards keeping the cell all the time relaxed. That's why the purpose of yoga is to conserve the energy. Your performance is directly proportional to conservation of the energy, consumption. How less you are consuming oxygen, how less you are consuming food for your exercise. That is the training you are giving it yourself. That only happens when you understand a sequence, a scientific system of yoga, a performing asana, and a sequence of asana. Scientific way of doing asana is, so the line passing through the center of mass has to be always in line passing through the center of gravity, number 1. Number 2, straight line. Number 2 is center of mass close to the center of gravity. If your movement, every movement in yoga has to have that principle. If that principle is not there, number 1. Number 2, how long you are doing it. What is your capacity? Your capacity is different, my capacity is different. What is your contraction capacity? And how much time you have to relax, how much time you have to... I can contract more because whole day I am relaxing. Even in between, I can relax. Your contraction is not to turn to negative ATP. Your contraction should match to the ATP plus ATP. Your contraction should never leave your cell minus ATP. First fundamental thumb rule means your anabolic action, your catabolic capacity will decide your anabolic capacity. Understand? Your catabolic capacity will decide your anabolic capacity. It is not anabolic capacity will never decide your catabolic capacity. So what is the limiting factor is your catabolic capacity. What is your ATP production system? What is your ATP ability? So your catabolism will drive in the beginning. Your catabolism will drive your anabolism. This is the most important. If you don't realize this, then you are generating a muscle of negative ATP. You are not generating a muscle of plus ATP. Objective is to generate plus ATP muscle. Muscle with the plus ATP means lean muscle, and lean muscle also tension-free lean muscle. Remember, not simply lean muscle, tension-free lean muscle. Tension-free lean muscle. A tension-free lean muscle and tensile, that is called a tensile lean muscle. If you go to an ultra-marathon runner or you go to any of them, they also have the lean muscle, but it is not tension-free lean muscle. tensile strength of the muscle, ability to stretch is called tensile strength. You can even stretch, again it comes back. It will never lose spring action. A muscle strand, a sarcomere, which refuses to lose its spring action. The spring action is called contractile proteins. Contractile protein. There are the 8 contractile proteins. The main contractile proteins are actin and myosin. These are the primary contractile proteins. It is the finest balance between your actin and myosin protein. Your tensile proteins, contractile proteins. How many contractile? 8 contractile proteins. Out of 8, the primary proteins that are responsible are actin and myosin. Yoga or your fitness is the finest balance between your actin and your myosin. The kind of the protein, the kind of the sarcomere with the what? Sarcomere is made with these contractile proteins. The sarcomere is the tiniest muscle strand. This is called sarcomere. This is the tiniest. Your muscle cell is called sarcomere. Tiniest muscle cell is called a sarcomere. A sarcomere is a bundle of, is nothing but a chain, a link of 8 contractile proteins. Understand? The primary proteins that keeps your sarcomere a tensile, flexible, and ability to expand, ability to contract, are actin and myosin are the primary contractile proteins. So, that is decided by your calcium ion activation or your potassium ion activation. This is contractile proteins. Calcium is for contraction and potassium is for expansion. In a way, it is called a acidic or it is an alkali. This is acidic. This is alkaline. The more you are keeping it contracted, more acidic your cell is becoming. Already you have excess acidity in the cell. Your cell potential is very low. Already your cell is having 6.9 pH to 7.1 pH to 7.3 pH. Less than 7.1 pH cancer cell. And 7.3 means yogi pH, yogi cell. That is the difference. All your health is between 7.1 to 7.3. All your metabolic disorders means less than 7.1 and less. Your robust health means 7.3. Your entire cell, in terms of pH it is, in terms of minus 50 millivolts to plus 50 millivolts, your electricity and electric potential. Acid means plus. Alkali means minus. Yoga is to balance. Your every contraction is calcium ion activation. Every expansion is potassium ion activation. understand, called redox contraction, reduction oxidation process. In terms of chemistry, it is called reduction oxidation. Redox. Exercise is nothing but driving a redox reaction at the cellular level, understanding chemistry. Ultimately, it is the alchemy. Ultimately, it is an elixir. Ultimately, it is the chemistry at work. Your work is to elicit a particular biochemical reaction, intracellular pathways, to activate particular kind of intracellular pathways, to design your muscle. What designs the muscle? The redox potential will decide the muscle. What decides your contractile proteins? Your redox potential, electricity, energy of the redox potential will decide your tensile strength of or actin, which should be more, which should be less. This is a contracting protein, this is expanding protein. The finest balance is decided by electricity called a contractile protection called redox potential. A redox potential. Understand? Every jump you do, every exercise you do you understand? Are you shaping for better? Or are you shaping for faster? The one who knows, he can shape it better. The one who doesn't even know, are you sure you are shaping for better? That's why none of your fitness will ensure any insurance for you from any protection from any disease. Have you seen? None of your exercises, the one who is going to the gym, is that he is a 24/7, 365 days, entire his life he is healthy, did not fall sick. Yes, I didn't fall sick. You can see for last 11 months. Is there any day you didn't see me? Or those who have been my students for 7 years, 8 years, ask them. On any day did they that I failed to appear in front of them? Understand. Knowing your alchemy, knowing what is happening at the cellular level, and accordingly understanding those mechanisms and designing is called a yoga. Yoga is a grand design. A grand design. It is the finest of the skill. It's not a skill, finest of understanding. Highest level of wisdom, highest level of science is required to understand. Yogis are, you think Krishnamacharya is a dummy? To talk about akramas and the styles of doing yoga? Or the Tibetan yoga masters, do you think they are the dummies? You are a smart fellow that you can jump like a rubber band and you can do Jivan Mukti yoga, the damn yoga of advanced vinyasa or whatever you call power yoga. Do you think yogis can't do power yoga? Or can't think of doing a power yoga? Do you know what is a power yoga? Power means only CP burning is called power yoga. Means, is it a yoga called to build anaerobic capacity? You damn fool, you name it as a power yoga? How unscientific to call it a power yoga, do you understand? The one who is lifting the heavy weight in the gym to grow a bulk muscle, he can call it as a power. That's called a power. Power means your ability to, your entire training is only for 3 seconds. Like Olympic weight champion trying to lift the highest weight what he can. That's called power. And you name yoga as a power? Indicates how unscientific, how stupid, how completely, how exactly opposite you are calling. Power yoga means you should be so scared to go to the power yoga. Yoga is not a power yoga. Yoga is infinite aerobic capacity, oxidative phosphorylation. not power. Infinite endurance. You call infinite endurance yoga, you should name it. Not even endurance yoga, consumption-based oxygen. I don't need any oxygen. Mine is aerobic yoga. Aerobic yoga means again oxygen consumption. No. Mine is aerobic yoga without oxygen. That is the scientific way if you want to name it. And you worship power yoga? Oh, he is the generator. He is so and so yogi. He is the originator of the power yoga. We all should adore. Huh? The one who killed yoga. A stupid will name it as a power yoga. Stupid. The one who doesn't even understand what is the power, creative phosphocreatine. Yoga is a phosphocreatine. Olympic medal winner, only heavyweight champion, he is doing the power yoga. He is lifting the highest weight every day. His training is only to build CP capacity, phosphocreatine capacity. Phosphocreatine, whole life goes in phosphocreatine building capacity. Making the muscle round. Power yoga is to build a round muscle. Yoga is to build a round muscle, globe muscle, football muscle, soccer muscle. Have you gone insane? I want to do power yoga. Are you a yoga teacher? Teach power yoga? Are you teaching power yoga to your students? You are telling your students it is a power yoga? Do you understand what is the power? A person like me, when you use such a words, Mr. Kumar, I want power yoga teachers. Damn yoga, to what level we have stooped down? What a vocabulary we are using in yoga. Against exactly the principles of yoga. You're looking for power yoga here? Or you are looking for a yoga of infinite catabolic capacity I need to build, or infinite anabolic capacity I have to build? There cannot be any infinite anabolic capacity. Already we are dying with that. Anabolic capacity is the limitation. Only 3 seconds, only 8 seconds, maximum only 20. Fitness is all about building aerobic capacity. Not anaerobic capacity. Aerobic capacity. That too, aerobic capacity can be 3 ways. Minus oxygen, plus oxygen, and conservation of oxygen. Plus oxygen, but very, very minimal, are not required. There are the 3 levels. The third highest level is called oxidative phosphorylation. When electrons are full, when your mitochondria is multiplying, bubbling with energy, electron production capacity is infinite of the cell. Your cell tells, I don't need any food, I don't need any oxygen. That's called a samadhi. That's called nirbija samadhi. Understand? Without understanding the fundamentals, a person like me to teach yoga, how difficult it is, how painful it is. Without shattering your myths, without breaking your sheaths of ignorance, is it possible to open the soul? Is it possible to nurture the soul? Entire yoga is to break open those sheaths of ignorance. Can't you understand? Now what kind of the sheaths of ignorance or fitness you have? And instead of, you react to the way I speak, isn't it? That's the problem. That's why you moved away from the village from your great-grandfathers who have unfortunately given you this hardware, software. That is your gratitude to them. That's why you dump them in an old age home. I don't mind, you dump me anywhere. Understand. I'm not looking for your viewership, my dear. Understand. I'm teaching what is yoga. The science of yoga. The first aspect of everyday session is spiritual aspect. And the second aspect is the scientific aspect of yoga. What a great science it is. When do you understand? Look, it is a shape, contractile proteins shaping. Relaxed potential. You relax cell potential, check. Bring a frequency meter, check. All those astronauts, first generation, going to the Apollo mission by Russia, they carried a frequency machine. Morning to evening, they are fit or not, they measured their self potential. If it is a plus 50, you are healthy. A yogi means plus 50. Check. Top to down. Keep a biofrequency measurement device available in the market. Buy and check from top to down. Scan entire body, every body. You will see in which organ your cell potential is minus, in which organ cell potential is plus. Do such a scientific study, appreciate. Everywhere you should show indicator plus 50, plus 50, plus 50. From top of the head down to the tips of toes, 70 trillion cells. A plus 50 millivolts, you are a yogi. You don't need any food. You are bubbling with energy. You already acquired a yogic body where all it beeps. When you scan with your frequency meter, where all it beeps, negative, I can't tell you. Where all voltage is less, means that is the damage you have done. That is your relaxed potential, dirty relaxed potential you created. Aerobic capacity. Your aerobic capacity is a plus, minus 50 millivolts. Your anaerobic capacity is minus, plus. Understand? All that the world suffers today is metabolic disorder. Every damn disease today, what we call, every damn problem, what we call, is called a metabolic disorder. Lifestyle disease, lifestyle problem, a fault of the fitness. Your food is unscientific. If a yogi speaks, he will educate you how ignorant you are in every field. That's why a guru is worshipped. Because guru is correcting, guru is not cursed. I won't listen to him. Guru is worshipped because he corrects you in every aspect, including your food. Everything is a science, absolute science. Absolute science means unquestionable, ununderstood, even by the person who studied that particular subject in the college. That is only knowledge he has no wisdom. A guru is different. He doesn't have a knowledge, he has a wisdom. What he speaks is right. It is experienced. And what he speaks is only the truth. Nothing else is the truth. Validate. Examine my statements. In any fitness school, if they can make you understand like this, let me challenge. Even go to the world best university of sport medicine and fitness physiology, if they can educate you like this, if that professor can understand like this, understand, yogis in Himalayas, why they are worshipped? A yogi is from Himalayas, why Krishnamacharya adores? Simple, the fact is the wisdom, ability to speak the truth, absolute, only the truth, only the science, and that to absolute science, nothing else. Only the truth, because that only saves you. Only pramana, absolute standard. Understand? Today for you to yesterday talk, In continuation to today's talk, if you can understand, then slowly you will start appreciating in which direction yoga should be. First of all, you will start understanding what should be the yoga based on these principles. Then you will understand what should not be done in the name of the fitness. You will understand, isn't it? Naturally. Then you will be afraid whether to do any yoga or not, or any fitness program or not. Yes, that's the first realization. You should be afraid. Then you don't go for any illiterate, fake yoga gurus, nor a dummy fitness program which trains you to be athlete or a soldier, consumption based or anaerobic capacity. Understand? At the end of the day, it is to stay happy 24/7, to have infinite catabolic capacity, infinite ATP generating capacity. Understand? System may vanish, may Lord bless you with infinite bless your family. With plus conserve ATP to reduce consumption of ATP, to have a robust infinite ATP generation. surplus ATP capacity. You for them to stay healthy, happy, to live eternal. May Lord bless your partner to be blessed, health and peace, and phenol surplus ATP. May 70 trillion cells bubble when plus ADP. May Lord bless your parents and grandparents to conserve, to preserve, to generate ADP, to stay healthy, happy. May consumption zero to become a yogi, to join the world of Holy Spirit, to join the world of elixir, immortality, superfluid state. May Lord bless your children, grandchildren, to share the self for surplus ATP, to make consumption of oxygen zero, zero, 0, 0, 0 entropy. May Lord bless your siblings to pursue the technologies of building surplus ATP, ATP generating training system. May them stay healthy, happy. May Lord bless you, friend, to build ATP, robust ATP, ATP bank, ATP reservoir, ATP grid, ATP power station with zero consumption. May all your colleagues stay healthy, happy, to preserve your ATP. May all your relatives follow the path of absolute, a science unparalleled of fitness yoga, to build the blood ATP, to stay healthy and happy. May Lord bless you, colleague, to generate, masters of generating ATP, preserve, nurture, produce ATP, making consumption of ATP zero, May Lord bless your community to pursue the technologies of consumption zero, production infinite. ATP is happy energy anytime, performance is ATP. May Lord bless your province, your state, your county to create systems of generating ATP, culling all ATP consumption mechanism. May Lord bless your country like a Tibet, like a Bhutan, to generate infinite ATP, to conserve ATP, to minimal consumption of fuel, oxygen or a food, minimum consumption of energy, indicate whether your nation is healthy or happy. Oh my dear, increase energy consumption, inside, outside, one and the same. Turning everyone's life into misery. Sick country falling sick, individual falling sick. If you only think in delusion, increase consumption, increase production of happiness, if full understand. May Lord bless world inside you, world outside you, to connect without any resistance. Mean infinite aerobic capacity, infinite ATP production ability, called a love for all, love all the time for all, love for everything. Is all a yoga, is all a means of absolute fitness, my dear, like a Dalai Lama. Understand. Amen. Insha Allah. Hare Hara Ta Sa. May you have good evening, full of production of ATP, plus ATP, zero consumption. May you have a night's sleep, means zero consumption. Complete relaxation, sleep is for not consumption. For complete relaxation, May you have infinity throughout the night. May you have even a cortisol activity morning and entire day full of many conservation of ATP, minimal consumption of ATP, every emotion, every feeling, every moment, in every moment, may you generate a plus ATP, no zero consumption. You are healthy, you are happy, you are enjoying every moment. That means, may Lord bless you, stay. Joy, enjoy every moment, in every moment. Namaste, Namaste, no consumption, asti conservation, jira consumption, I am the full of happiness, asti, namo, 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 we continue to learn certain fundamental basic aspects of fitness. Understand it is for what purpose you are contracting, for what purpose you are creating a stress, how the God, nature nurtures every species toward the healthy and to make it strong. Observe what kind of the stress it creates. Stress by the nature is to keep you strong, not to make you weak. There's a purpose of anabolic activity. There's a purpose of load. There's a purpose of stress. In yoga, is the way to do that, only way to do that. Understand, listen again and again. If you are listening first time or any number of times, the more you listen, more you adore gurus, the lineages and the traditions. Grateful to you, in all gratitude to you. There is no arrogance, there is only anguish. You should understand. There is no passion, there is only compassion. There is no emotion, there is only emotion. Helps, not